Have you ever noticed how we spend most of our time worrying about our physical health, but we rarely talk about mental health? Most of the videos you watch probably start with the same superficial definitions as always. But this is not just another video you'll watch and forget. We are talking about something that goes beyond diagnoses and labels. Mental health is the foundation of everything we do, feel, and achieve in life. And if you think this doesn't directly affect you, you might be mistaken. Because just like physical health, mental health is a constant journey that affects every aspect of our existence. Want to understand why this is so essential, and more importantly, how it can change your life right now? Then stick around, because what comes next may be exactly what you needed to hear. Often forgotten, mental health is the foundation of everything we do in life. Without it, no matter how many miles you run or how much weight you lift, something will always be missing. Taking care of the mind isn't just about avoiding illnesses. It's about ensuring that each day starts with clarity, focus, and balance. When the mind is at peace, even the body responds better. Imagine that feeling of being physically exhausted but mentally in control. That's the synergy we strive for. If the mind were like a muscle, it would need daily training. And just as you don't see results at the gym overnight, strengthening mental health requires consistency. Small practices like 5 minutes of deep breathing or a walk outside can make a huge difference. A well-cared-for mind handles life's ups and downs better, allowing you to enjoy even the simplest moments. The reality is that we're not just avoiding mental disorders but aiming to thrive, regardless of the circumstances. Mental well-being goes far beyond just being okay. It's about living fully, even when everything around you seems chaotic. By taking care of your mind, you unlock your true potential, which directly influences your physical and emotional health. Without it, everything feels like a wasted effort. Have you ever thought that often what holds you back from achieving something isn't a lack of physical ability, but rather a mental barrier? That fear, that constant doubt, that accumulated stress, all of this limits your productivity and keeps you stuck. However, by strengthening your mental health, these barriers begin to dissolve. You become more productive, more resilient, and life seems to flow. Taking care of the mind also helps us be more present in our relationships. Instead of being consumed by our internal struggles, we can listen better, be more empathetic, and offer genuine support to those around us. This makes us more human, more connected. After all, living well isn't just about ourselves, but about how we interact with the world. And we can't forget that mental and physical health go hand in hand. When you are mentally healthy, your diet improves, your exercise routine becomes more consistent, and even your sleep flows better. It's like adjusting a complex mechanism where each part needs to be finely tuned to function harmoniously. The mind is the control center, and when it's functioning well, the rest of the body follows suit. During today's video, besides the main topics, I'd like to share something that has made a difference for me. Recently, I started using Cineboost, which has been helping me improve focus, energy, and even reduce anxiety in my daily life. If you're interested in learning more, check out the pinned comment, and the best part is you only pay for shipping. Mental health is not a fixed thing. On the contrary, it's like a balance that swings between good and bad days, influenced by various factors. There are times when we are on top, feeling strong, confident, and energized to face any challenge. But at other times, it feels like a simple breeze could knock us down. This is normal, and understanding that mental health is a continuum helps us accept these fluctuations without so much judgment. Think of your mind as a tightrope. Some days it feels like we're walking confidently, maintaining balance, while on other days, the slightest obstacle makes us wobble. Our genes play an important role here, as well as the environment in which we grow up and the situations we face daily. However, it's important to remember that regardless of these influences, there are always ways to strengthen ourselves. Life constantly tests us, and it's through these variations that we notice our resilience. Work stress, family problems, or even the pressure we put on ourselves can push us down on this mental well-being scale. However, by adopting daily practices that promote self-care, we can better prepare ourselves to face these falls and, over time, learn to rise back up faster. A good example is the impact of sleep on our mental health. After a good night's rest, you might wake up feeling stronger and ready for the day's challenges. Now imagine facing the same problems after a bad night's sleep. Emotions become intense, patience disappears, and everything seems more difficult. It's a clear example of how this balance can sway depending on external and internal factors. But the most important thing here is awareness. Knowing that we are constantly moving along this spectrum allows us to be kinder to ourselves. On the hardest days, we can give ourselves permission to slow down, ask for help, or simply take a deep breath. We don't always need to be on top to be successful, but we do need to learn how to handle these fluctuations in a healthy way. The key is to understand the signals. By noticing that we are moving downward on this balance, we can act. It could be through physical activities, talking to someone we trust, or even seeking professional help. These are simple actions, but they make a big difference in the long run. The ability to recognize these moments is what gives us control over how we react to them. And of course, there are always ways to work this balance in our favor. It's not just about avoiding the lows, but building resilience to deal with them when they appear. The more we understand how our mental health fluctuates, the better prepared we are to navigate these highs and lows, finding balance amidst the chaos. The definition of mental health goes far beyond what we imagine. According to the World Health Organization, it's the ability to live in harmony with yourself and the world around you. This involves recognizing and using your full potential, not just surviving day to day, but thriving. And to thrive here doesn't mean being the richest or most successful, but rather finding a balance that allows you to achieve your personal and professional goals without sacrificing your inner peace. A key aspect of this definition is stress management. The inevitable stress of our modern lives is like a pressure cooker. If you don't find ways to release some of that tension over time, the pressure builds up until something explodes, and that's where the danger lies. By learning to handle stress in a healthy way, whether through meditation, physical activities, or even hobbies, you keep that pressure under control, preventing it from causing long-term damage. Working productively is also a crucial aspect of mental health. When we're mentally well, we become more efficient, creative, and resilient. Productivity isn't just about delivering results, but about how we feel while doing it. If, at the end of the day, tiredness is accompanied by a sense of accomplishment, you're on the right track. If not, perhaps it's time to reassess how work is affecting your mental health and make the necessary adjustments. Contributing to the community, in turn, is a pillar that is often overlooked. However, it's a vital part of the equation. Feeling part of something bigger than yourself, whether through volunteering or simply helping those around you, gives you a sense of purpose. And this sense of belonging can be a powerful ally in building a healthy mind. After all, when we are content with what we do and the people around us, our mental health flourishes. The WHO's definition reminds us that mental health isn't something that happens in isolation. It's directly connected to our relationships, how we engage with work, and our ability to deal with daily challenges. Being mentally healthy means being able to live fully without the weight of problems preventing us from moving forward. It's a journey of self-discovery, learning, and above all, continuous growth. This holistic view of mental health reinforces the importance of caring for all areas of our lives. There's no point in focusing on just one aspect and neglecting the rest. If one part is out of balance, it ends up affecting the whole. That's why it's essential to seek alignment between what we do, who we are, and how we interact with others. And like any growth process, this search for fulfillment and balance is ongoing. Every day we have the opportunity to adjust course, learn something new, and get close. Resilience is a powerful but sometimes underestimated word. Mentally healthy people aren't those who never face challenges, but rather those who can get back up after each fall. Life is full of obstacles, but the ability to bounce back after difficult moments is what distinguishes a resilient mind. Imagine an elastic band that, no matter how stretched, always returns to its original state. That's what resilience does for us. And resilience is directly connected to self-control. When we know how to control our emotions, we prevent temporary situations from affecting our long-term well-being. You know that moment when you're about to explode with anger, but suddenly you manage to take a deep breath and think before acting? That little space between impulse and action is where self-control resides. Cultivating this skill helps us maintain healthier relationships and, of course, avoid regrets. Resilient people also know that building healthy relationships is fundamental to maintaining mental balance. We're not just talking about having friends or family nearby, but about nurturing these relationships with empathy, respect, and communication. When we surround ourselves with people who support us, it becomes much easier to handle difficult moments. Resilience, therefore, isn't a solitary journey. It's something that strengthens in our interactions with others. Self-control doesn't mean repressing emotions, but understanding them and acting accordingly. Feeling anger, sadness, or frustration is natural. What matters is what you do with those emotions. Mentally healthy people know how to channel these feelings constructively. A simple example: instead of venting your frustration on someone, how about taking a break, going for a walk, or listening to relaxing music? These are small actions that make a big difference in how we deal with the world. And here's a practical tip. To strengthen your resilience and self-control, try practicing mindfulness. This technique, which focuses on maintaining attention in the present moment, helps you better handle emotions and make more conscious decisions. It can be done in 5 minutes at the beginning or end of the day, and the results are surprising. You'll notice that, over time, it becomes easier to manage your emotions and adapt to changes. Resilience and self-control aren't gifts that some people have and others don't. They are skills that can be developed over time and with practice. And the more you exercise these muscles, the stronger they get. If you can control your emotions in simple everyday situations, like in traffic or a long queue, you'll find that, little by little, you'll also be able to maintain balance in more stressful moments. And of course, resilience isn't just about resisting. It's about growing. Every challenge overcome teaches us something new, strengthens us for the next obstacle, and allows us to evolve. The more we learn to handle life's ups and downs, the closer we get to robust and lasting mental health. Emotions are an integral part of the human experience, but when they persist negatively, they begin to interfere with daily functioning. Imagine trying to go through the day with a backpack full of rocks on your back. At first, you might be able to ignore the weight, but over time, it starts to affect your posture, your movements, and even your disposition. That's how prolonged emotions like sadness, fear, or anxiety can impact someone's life. These negative emotions, when persistent, not only drain physical energy, but also our sense of control. The person may feel trapped in a never-ending cycle, unable to move forward. Everything seems harder than it really is. Simple tasks like getting out of bed or having a meal become huge obstacles. At this point, emotions start shaping behavior negatively, hindering progress in important areas of life. Prolonging these feelings without a solution can lead to more serious problems like depression and anxiety. And while many think that these issues appear suddenly, they actually settle in gradually, like a cloud slowly covering the sky. Initially, it might just be a fleeting sadness, but if not addressed, it can turn into something that completely dominates your routine, preventing any sense of well-being. A practical tip is to pay attention to warning signs. If you notice that you've been feeling this way for more than 2 consecutive weeks without improvement, it might be time to seek help. This can be through friends, family, or even a professional. Recognizing that something isn't right is the first step to regaining control of your life. Waiting for negative emotions to just disappear can be risky, and ignoring the problem only increases its impact. A real-life example is when work stress starts spilling over into other areas of life. Irritation with colleagues turns into fights at home. Mental fatigue affects sleep, and suddenly you find yourself trapped in a cycle that seems endless. It's important to recognize when these emotions start affecting not only work, but life as a whole. A strategic break or an honest conversation with someone you trust may be the key to breaking out of this cycle. It's worth remembering that we all go through these ups and downs at some point. The problem isn't feeling negative emotions, but allowing them to dominate our lives. Mentally healthy people aren't those who never feel sad or anxious, but those who know when it's time to act. They understand that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, but a smart strategy to restore balance. And just like with any health issue, the sooner you seek to address these feelings, the easier it will be to return to normal. Dealing with negative emotions consciously before they become chronic allows you to regain control over your mental well-being. After all, the first step to changing any situation is recognizing it and taking action. Stigma is like a shadow that hangs over mental health, preventing many from seeking help. Although we've made significant progress in raising awareness, there's still an invisible barrier that makes people hesitate to talk about their emotional struggles. The fear of judgment or appearing weak makes many silence their internal battles. But in reality, talking about it is a sign of strength, not the opposite. Stigma creates a cycle of isolation. A person facing emotional difficulties may recognize that they need help, but with all of this in mind, the decision is now yours. Will you start giving your mental health the attention it deserves? A simple change can make all the difference, like Cineboost did for me, helping improve my focus and reduce anxiety. If you want to know more, check out the pinned comment. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Let's transform your mental health together.